Karl Rove on the phone, former White House Deputy Chief of Staff, Fox News contributor, been with us throughout this ride. Karl, your thoughts on this debt?
Well, every 4 years, America goes through a ceremony of democracy where we go to the polls and elect the president or re-elect the president. And this is apparently the end of that process this year. Pennsylvania sealed the fate of President Trump and elevated Vice President Joe Biden to the job that he has sought for many, many decades. And we all wish him well. He becomes our president next January 20th. So much in our country depends upon the acts of the president and our government. He is the symbol of our government. And like a lot of Americans, I've prayed for a lot of different presidents of different parties, and he will now be in the prayers of the Rove family, as I'm sure he will be in the prayers of many American families.
So, Karl, what advice would you give President Trump today?
Well, he has the right to look at his options. He has a right to examine what he believes is the situation that he was faced with, the treatment that he feels his campaign was given. And he has the right to, if he has legitimate complaints, to go to the courts. As Trey Gowdy said so eloquently last night, I thought this is one of the great majesties of America, that we have every person, no matter how high or how low, has access to the American courts. So if President Trump feels that he has been wronged in this situation, he has access to the courts. But this is a pretty definitive judgment, and we have more states to settle, and the race may tighten in some, and there will certainly be more votes added to President Trump's column, and he will be forever one of 45 unique individuals to date. Now it's going to be 46 who've served as the president, and he has served with energy and activity and a little bit of disruption, which is what he sought to make in the system for the last 4 years. And win, lose, or draw, and now looks like it's a loss. He has nothing to he gave it his all. I mean, this was an extraordinary campaign, and particularly at the end, it was amazing. And we all thought this was going to be a big blue wave. They told us it was going to be a huge margin for Joe Biden. And instead, it's come down to a pretty few small number of votes in 6 states. And he has a lot that he's accomplished, and a lot he has to be proud of. But some people win and some people lose, and this appears to be a day that he's lost.
Yeah. Karl, last thing quickly. What do you say to conservatives who now look to Georgia and these 2 runoff Senate races and are fearful as they look at the presidential vote in Georgia about potentially losing control of the Senate and changing this dynamic that everybody's talking about split government?
Well, it's a warning. If you care about having a reasonable governor on the passions of the past, then you got to worry about Georgia, and you got to worry about the 50 Republicans on the Senate today, 48 Democrats, and the outcome of Georgia could determine, could literally put the Democrats in charge of all 3, the House, the Senate, and the White House, which if you're a conservative like I am, you worry about, which is why I accepted yesterday a request from the chairman of the Senate Republican Campaign Committee to chair an effort to raise money from around the country for these 2 campaigns. So
you have your finger in a lot of stuff there, Karl. We appreciate your time, your thoughts. Thank you.